All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Harakakodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to all the hopeful elect brothers that's doing the will of the Lord in sincerity and in truth. Now, this is just going to be a short lesson going into how these nations are boosting up their ammo, their nuclear ammo. This is uh, this is a short from King KU Facts. KU Facts. I don't know how to say that word properly. Oh, I liked it, and my like is the 777th like. I think that's pretty cool because 7 means completion, and the Most High is gonna completely destroy Babylon the Great by putting the spirit in these other nations during WW3 to hit this place with nuclear missiles. I think it's pretty cool. But let me get a scripture before I play it, right? This is Revelation 9 and 16. Revelation 9 and 16. And then I'm going to get Isaiah 9 and 5. Revelation chapter 9 verse 16 says, "And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them." Right? And this is talking about the missiles, right? So right now, these countries, in their secret stockpile, you know, Lord knows if they have 200 million that's ready. That's ready to hit the shores of Babylon. But you have to remember also that the warheads are going to come out of these ICBMs as well. So remember that's going into it as well. And the number of the army of the horsemen, because the nuclear missiles are an army. That's one of the Most High's armies. You have the you have the army that's 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 coming from the sky. That's Yahweh Shai and the angels. You have the 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 arrows, the flaming arrows, the missiles, which is another army. And then you have the elect. Then you have the elect, which is going to be given spiritual powers. So that's another army. And when the elect gets beamed up, our bodies are going to be changed. We're going to automatically get spiritual powers anyways. But even before the Lord takes this place down, the Lord is going to grant some members of the elect with spiritual powers as a standard to defend against killer robots, to defend against all type of crazy advanced weapons. Because Esau is blessed with the sword. You have to remember that. Esau is blessed with the sword. So we can't go against Esau with a weapon. It's impossible. Because that's their thing. Our blessing is spiritual. Their blessing is carnal. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. It says, "Why is France," this is from March 3rd, 4 days ago. "Why is France boosting its nuclear arsenal and starts the biggest European shift since the Cold War?" So, the prophecy of the beast hating the whore, the NATO and the EU nations is starting to hate Babylon, which is America, because Babylon and the least of the flock is getting is getting these uh is getting these nations into trouble. You know, they're being dragged into all type of trouble that apparently they don't want to be a part of. But the Lord put it in their spirit to make these missiles for a reason. They're not just there for show. You know that you know you know at the end of the world, it's not gonna have some gigantic peace agreement to where they're gonna put the missiles in a giant museum just to look at, and then Esau's still gonna rule. No, 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 no. The Lord put it in these in their spirits to make it for a reason, which is to use it.
Breaking news after France's Prime Minister Emmanuel Macron says he can't accept the US and Israel engaging Iran militarily, and the French constantly getting dismissed by Russia amidst the Ukraine war. He's had enough.
I have ordered that we increase the number of nuclear warheads on our arsenal in order to put pay to any speculation. We will no longer communicate on the figures regarding our nuclear arsenal, contrary to past practice. In order to be free, therefore, we must be feared. And in order to be feared, we have to be powerful. This increase in our arsenal reflects that approach. But in order to be powerful, and this is the second part of my intervention, we have to be united. And I'm going to speak about Europe.
This comes as France orders its aircraft carrier Charles de Gaulle to the Mediterranean, sends air defenses and anti-drone systems to Cyprus, and attempts to negotiate a settlement in the Iran war by aligning itself with China. Macron's
By aligning itself with China, and China is not an ally of the U.S. Even though they do trade, it's not an ally of the U.S. because Moab is going to wipe this place, is going to help to wipe this place off the map. China, Russia, Iran, all the countries that have nuclear capability. The Lord is putting this spirit in these nations to boost it, increase the number if you don't get it. And also Poland considers building nuclear weapons. Poland this is look at this. Polskiradio.pl English. U.S. would oppose Poland. Others developing nuclear capabilities. Pentagon says the U.S. would oppose nuclear weapons developed by countries such as Poland, Germany, or the Scandinavian states. Deputy Pentagon Chief Elbridge Colby said on Wednesday, calling the scenario hypothetical, but saying Washington would try to dissuade them. He like, yo, don't do it. Do not do it. What are you doing? Because you want to know why that's a threat. That's a threat to Babylon. But the Lord is going to have these nations increase or boost the number of arrows anyways. Colby, speaking at an event at the Council on Foreign Relations, was asked about discussions in Europe on acquiring nuclear weapons or extending France or Britain's nuclear umbrella to other countries. I have not heard credible information that European governments are really thinking about independently acquiring nuclear weapons and breaking their obligations under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. So it's going to happen anyways. This is the Jamestown Foundation, jamestown.org. I like this I like this website's design. It's simple, but the colors are very warm. This blue isn't too this blue isn't too bright. Poland considers developing nuclear program. Executive summary. Polish President Karol Nawrocki has become the first senior Polish official to openly support initiating work on the development of Polish nuclear capabilities. His statement on this issue reflects an ongoing debate within Polish analytical and expert circles. Some representatives of Polish political circles have shifted their ambitions from merely joining the North Atlantic Treaty Organization (NATO) nuclear sharing program to initiating work on Poland's own nuclear capabilities. So they want to make their own. Yo, yeah, we don't want yours. We want to make our own. We want to make our own. This scripture, right here. Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So the king's heart, meaning the king's mind, which is where the king thinks and makes decisions for his country, right? It's owned. First of all, it's created. The Most High created everything. The Most High created all these people, all these kings, all these nations, right? The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, meaning the power of the Lord, Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. As the rivers of waters, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So the Most High is controlling the minds of the kings of these nations. Polish President Karol Nawrocki. A president is like a modern day king. And French president, I forgot his name, my bad. French president or prime minister, a prime minister, a president, they're the heads of their countries, which are modern day kings. I can't get to it. It says Karol Nawrocki, born 1983, as a Polish historian and politician who has served as the 7th president of Poland since 2025. Previously, he served as a director of the Institute of National Remembrance, IPN, from 2021 to 2025, and was the director of the Museum of the Second World War in Gdansk from 2017 to 2021. He's the president of Poland. He's a modern day king. Of course, which the real kings of the earth are the elites, right? The elite banking families, of course. But going on down, these people are the heads of these nations. So, there you go, right? So the Lord is putting it in these nations' minds to boost ammo and to start making ammo, right? Countries. AI overview. Countries that are boosting nuclear weapons. Several countries are actively increasing or modernizing their nuclear arsenals, driven by growing geopolitical tensions. which is what's going on right now. Because you want to know why? I was watching something. I saved it in my notes. They were saying that one of the reasons why Chi- uh, one of the reasons why the U.S. and Amalek is going against Iran is because of China. Because Iran is very important to China. Because they get like millions of barrels from Iran every day or something like that. Which that's geopolitics. But it's also an actual war right now. You get me? It's on its like eighth day. China has the fastest growing stockpile, while Russia, India, Pakistan, and North Korea are expanding or upgrading theirs. France has announced plans to boost its arsenal and extend deterrence. Right? And Poland said they want to start making their own. It says ICANN. Which countries have nuclear weapons? At present, there are 9 countries in the world that possess nuclear weapons. They are Russia, United States, China, France, U- United Kingdom, Pakistan, India, Israel, North Korea. These states have roughly 12,331 nuclear warheads with over 9,600 in active military stockpiles, according to the Federation of Atomic Scientists 2025 Status of the World's Nuclear Forces. That number is going to increase. I wanted to get one more scripture and end it. Isaiah 9 and 5 says, "For every battle of the warrior is fought with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." Because back in the ancient world, right, and even when you go into like the Middle Ages, is only up until recently, with the sorry, with the development of a gun, that they use those weapons in war. But before that, it was it was sword to sword. It was close combat, and then you had special groups that had what do you call it? Not a sphere. Bow and arrows. That would be like the snipers of today. You know, but when nations would go to war back then, it was face to face. You know, they would have their armor, they would have their shield, they would have their swords. You know, and they would go at it, and they would wound each other or kill, and that would spill blood. Right? For every battle of the warrior is fought with confused noise, and there will be a lot of like confusion. There'll be a lot of noise. They will let out the war cry, and they'll just go at it. Pure testosterone, you know, pure testosterone. And garments rolled in blood, like how you see today with the UFC or any like MMA match, or even boxing, when they're going at it, when they're hitting each other, or when this guy put this guy in a guillotine, or when this guy hits another guy with an elbow. There's blood. You know, that's 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 an actual war they're having in that ring. And garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So this war, WW3, is burning and fuel of fire, and I had something saved. look at it. This is Bloomberg News. U.S. launches missiles from sea during Iran military operation. That's fire. That's fire right there. The missile is being propelled by fire. Is being uplifted by fire, right? And what does Isaiah 9:5 says? But this shall be with the burning and fuel of fire. And these nations want to increase or boost the nuclear arsenal, Salaka, because it's prophesied that this place is gonna get hit with a lot, 200 million. That's the number that's in Revelation, 6 and 13. That's fire right there. There's fire, and then below the fire, you have a trail of smoke. That's fire. That's not water. That's not sand. That's not. It's not. It's not tree dust, or whatever. That's not There's not breadcrumbs. I'm trying to have fun with this. Salakia, if I'm offending you, but I'm trying to have fun with this. That's fire. That's nothing else but fire. That's fire. Burning and fuel of fire. Isaiah 9:5, and I'm going to end it. For every battle of the warrior is fought with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Which countries have nuclear weapons? And that's the end of the lesson. Lord will, it was edifying. All praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Harakakadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.